Up next on Connections, using Google to help plan your next trip. We'll show you a new high-tech tool that will prove invaluable to regular riders and visitors as well. We'll see the Gum Buster work its magic, an example of just one of the new tools CTA is using to keep its buses clean. Getting around town this summer? Whether it's to the beach or the ballpark, let the CTA do the driving. And delivering real-time information on CTA train platforms, a look at plans for some exciting communication advances. The CTA, working hard to improve, committed to quality and its riders. Welcome to Connections. The CTA, delivering quality, affordable transit that links people, jobs, and communities. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. Visitors and Chicago natives alike are going to find it even easier to use public transportation. How? With a little help from Google.
Customers need a better way to receive information about the entire system. Today, we are here to announce a good step in that direction, a partnership with Google that will allow the CTA riders to plan their trips by using Google Transit website. We are pleased to be added to the list of cities on Google Transit. We're the largest American city on that list.
Built by Google's world-renowned engineers at no cost to the CTA, Google Transit, which is integrated into the Google Maps program, will provide every individual who searches for directions online with transit directions, and that's whether they're driving or taking a bus or train. And it will give them complete information of how to complete that trip easily on mass transit.
Google Transit began as an experiment back in 2005. So a couple of engineers came up with this idea of, can we make it as easy to find transit directions online as it is to find driving directions? Over the next couple of years, we've evolved the product several times, and last October, we graduated from labs into a fully integrated feature of Google Maps.
This partnership will allow Google users to find public transit directions to any place in the city. Along with which bus or train to take, users will see plenty of additional information to help them plan their trip.
People using Google Transit will just be able to enter in an address or a location, and they will be able to pick the times they want to travel, and it'll give them a couple options of how to get from one place to the other. It'll give them the rail route or the bus route. It'll give them the stop name. It'll also give them a fare recommendation. It'll tell them the travel time, how to get there.
If you think about typical trip planners, the user has already made the decision in his or her mind to take transit. But if you're on Google Maps, you may or may not have made that decision yet. And the reason why you might not take transit is because you don't know it exists, and it could meet your needs effectively and conveniently.
Like other Google searches, Google Transit works quickly and easily to help users find their route.
So the way a typical user discovers Google Maps is by a regular Google web search. And so here, I'm going to search for the House of Blues in Chicago. And so we show a map at the top result here. And if I click on the map, I'm taken to the Google Maps user interface here. And I'm going to get directions from Midway Airport. And here are Google driving directions from Midway, starting at point A all the way to House of Blues. But that's not why we're here today. Why we're here today is because of this link up at the top left. And this shows up every time someone searches for driving directions in the Chicago area. And this link says take public transit. And if I click here, what you'll see is we actually just went from driving directions to transit in directions. When we zoom in on the map, and this is true all over Chicago, not just for this particular area, you'll actually see these blue icons. And there are icons for the train stations as well as the bus stops. And this is right in front of the House of Blues. And so you can see that the 22, the 36, and the 62 stop here.
It'll be very useful to tourists and out-of-towners who may be used to using Google in their hometown, and they can just come to Google Maps and search in Chicago, and they'll be able to plan transit trips in the Chicago in an interface that they're used to. The Sears Tower, Wrigley Field, Navy Pier. Enter that in, and it'll tell them how to get there.
Regardless of whether you want to travel 3 miles or 3,000 miles from home, the tools to plan the most convenient and easiest way to reach your destination is is captured all in one place.
The ease with which people will be able to find public transit directions will help bring additional riders to CTA. And more riders means less traffic congestion and cleaner air.
We're really excited about Chicago because transit is vital here, as it is in cities across America, but it's the largest transit agency in terms of ridership that we've partnered with.
The Google site provides this information in over 11 different languages and is an accessible site to individuals with disabilities. So no matter what corner of the globe someone may be deciding to come to Chicago to, in their own language, they'll be able to access this information.
Anything that gets people out of their cars and onto transit, it's not only good for CTA, it's good for the city, it's good for the region, it's good for the environment.
So the next time you're planning a trip, just Google it. You'll find everything you need to navigate Chicago using the CTA. Have you noticed a difference in your bus lately? More and more CTA buses are boasting shiny floors and clean, bright seats. It's the direct result of a renewed commitment to clean up the CTA bus fleet.
The bus cleanliness program is part of the larger vision of the CTA to really transform the organization from a good and great transit organization to a world-class transit organization. So the cleanliness program is one of the new commitments that the CTA is making to its riders.
If the bus is clean, you know that you're going to have a better reaction from your customers. I mean, you don't want to go on the street and have trash on the bus or anything, or the outside of it. People comment on those types of things, and it really makes a difference. I've even had people notice that the bus is clean. They really appreciate it more because they're paying for this ride.
You might be thinking that a cleaning involves a quick sweep or a spritz to a window, but CTA's cleaning program is designed to wash every bus every day. Each bus is scheduled to get an intense 4-hour deep cleaning every 2 weeks.
So there's a couple of big changes. One is in how often we're cleaning the buses. So we've expanded not only the depth of cleaning, so taking our general clean and some of the other things we've always been doing and doing them more often, but also incorporating a greater breadth of cleans. So we've introduced a couple of very targeted cleans, things like the seats, the lights, adding a midday cleaning that are enabling us to attack some very specific areas with greater frequency.
Well, when I first get in, I get a master sheet, and then after that, start cleaning. I clean the interior first, then outside of the bus.
The bus comes over the pump area, and the servicer checks the fluid levels, and then he services the bus by fueling it, and then he sweeps the buses out, gets rid of all the trash and gum off the buses. They come through the bus rack every single day. When the servicer services at the pump area, that's the last thing he does. He goes through the wash rack.
CTA is adding all sorts of new equipment to help the servicers do a faster and more thorough job of cleaning each and every bus.
We are developing the garages in a way that creates almost like a detail-like shop in every single garage. So having overhead reels and dedicated lighting and everything within feet of the servicer. So whereas in the past they're sometimes carrying buckets of water and materials from one end of the garage to the other, now they're actually going to have dedicated space for just cleaning.
We have a machine called the Gum Buster, and that removes the gum off the floor. It's a solution and steam, and instantly gets the gum off.
A process that used to take us hours to get off, 40 or more pieces of gum off a bus, we can now do it in a matter of minutes. The second thing that we've added is the Foam-It, and it is a device that basically transforms any kind of liquid cleaning product into a foam. It enables us to lift dirt off the surface more easily, and then you can just rinse it away with water.
When we clean the engines, it makes the bus run cooler, takes away any fumes. We can also detect any type of leaks easier, and that prevents roll calls and buses breaking down. We can prevent that by keeping the engines washed.
We've introduced a sealed floor on the buses, and it's a urethane clear coating, kind of like a basketball floor. And it does a couple of things. One, it actually prevents things from actually adhering to the floor in the first place, so there's less to clean, and then it actually makes it easier to clean once there is anything on the floor.
I have had customers comment on how clean the bus is, and they've made comments like, oh, you guys are, this is a clean bus. So obviously they've been on one that wasn't so clean. So that gives me the impression that they're noticing these changes.
Customers wouldn't ride the buses if they were dirty. Okay, eventually ridership goes down, we all lose our jobs. We want a clean bus because it's a reflection on everybody that's working for CTA. The bus driver, the clerk, everybody that works for CTA. People see dirty buses all the time, it's a reflection on us.
Those bus services are working hard to make sure you have a clean and pleasant experience on the CTA. Just ahead on Connections, the secret to summertime destinations. So what's your favorite place to go to in the summertime?
Brickfield Zoo.
Okay. And where else?
Park Zoo. There's so many places or things to do in Chicago, in the city.
Great. What about you?
Navy Pier. Navy Pier.
Well, you're already here. You're coming back.
Yeah. Navy Pier and Lincoln Zoo.
I think we're going to go see Chinatown.
Oh, Chinatown. Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be very cool.
Millennium Park.
Navy Pier.
We're here.
We're going to go
just got
ride
here.
Ferris wheel.
This is my favorite place, and then we would like to go to the ball game at the Wrigley Field,
The aquarium. And then the rest is all shopping.
Chicago is huge. There's millions of things to do here, but I like, of course, shopping. I'm a woman. I love to shop.
You're a Chicagoan when you're riding the bus, which is a wonderful experience because people love to talk to the girls. We've learned so much about the local culture and fast and friendly service. Always.
And we haven't taken one taxi.
Wow.
We take the bus and we get on that L, we just slide in our card. We can all do it now very well. Get in, we go everywhere.
As of May 1st, active U.S. military personnel in full uniform may ride free on CTA buses and trains. In February, the Chicago City Council passed an ordinance to provide free rides for active military personnel and disabled veterans on the CTA. The CTA is developing a military service pass and plans to introduce the card this summer and expand the program to allow disabled veterans to also ride free.
Combining technology and teamwork while delivering dependable, affordable transit. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. The Southport station is open for business. Along with celebrating this new and improved station, the mayor has an exciting announcement about future technology.
This station was opened in 1907. It was closed for a year, reopened in March 30th with all types of improvements. New elevators, lighting, heating, information system, new exit system on the west side of Southport. Of course, original artwork based on photographs of this wonderful neighborhood, which has a lot of history.
I want to welcome you to the station. I hope that you enjoy the amenities. I'd like to thank the community for working with us. When we started out on this Brown Line project, we had hundreds of community meetings to make sure that we could do it in a way that would have the minimal negative effect on the community and still bring this great station.
A bold initiative was announced by CTA President Ron Huberman. It's just one of the ways that CTA is moving into the future.
At every single rail station, there'll be 8 digital screens, 52 inches, which is a big screen. So in this station, if we use an example, within a year, when you walked into the fare box control area, there would have been a large screen that provides you with next train arrival information. Over both of the stairwells to my right and my left would be large screens with next train arrival information. And again on the platforms, in excess of 1,100 digital screens.
It was something that the mayor had challenged us to look at how do we get next train arrival information, real-time communications to our customers. So what we looked at was what they were doing around the world, and in Asia, in Europe, they use digital screens extensively to get information. And then to finance that, we looked at could we use advertising in order to put these screens in at no cost to the CTA.
You heard it right, no cost to the CTA. CTA has partnered with Titan Worldwide in order to provide these screens at every rail station. Titan will bear the cost of installation and maintenance, and CTA riders will reap the benefits. In addition to real-time information about travel, the digital signs will be tied in to other Chicago agencies. Important information will be available immediately to CTA riders.
During an emergency, it'll be fully integrated with OEMC, Chicago Police Department, capable of receiving Amber Alerts, so we can instantly get messages out across our system. In an emergency, instantly we can blast messages out to the entire station, every one of our 144 stations.
If there's any delay anywhere in the system, all 1,100 screens will immediately project the information that our customers need in real time to make better decisions about their daily commute.
Customers want real information so they can decide, they want to make decisions. And what we're doing is giving them that information so they can see how long it'll take for the train. If they want to take the bus instead, they can do that. So it gives them that capacity to make decisions.
Buses will also get the digital treatment, and advertisers are excited about the possibilities.
GPS tracking system, they're able to change the advertising by block. So it would enable us to either target neighborhoods for national advertisers or actually target local advertisers by neighborhood. So if a bus is going down one route and hits a turn corner, if there is an advertiser that wants to reach that particular neighborhood, the ad could change.
What it quite literally is a moving, fully interactive media screen on the side of a bus. While this is popular in Asia and this has been introduced in Europe, we will be the first system in the United States to introduce this system.
The CTA expects to see over $100 million in ad revenue with the new digital signs, money that will be used to support services provided to customers. With winter firmly in the rearview mirror, it is time to start enjoying the lakefront, baseball games, festivals, you know, all the things that make Chicago so much fun in the warm weather. And the CTA is making it even easier to get you to the places that you love to be.
Why put yourself in a bad mood by being in traffic? Just take the public transportation. It's the best way to go.
Chicago is one of the greatest cities in the world, and in the summer, it's easy to see why. Beautiful beaches, world-class museums, and of course the Sox and the Cubs, just some of the reasons to get out and enjoy summer in Chicago. CTA has special summer service to a variety of locations. So how about a trip to the beach?
For the summer, starting at Memorial Day, we'll extend service on the 63rd Street line to the beach, on the number 72 North Avenue to the beach, and also the 78 Montrose will be extended to the beach, and so that people can enjoy the beach and have a convenient way to get there and get back without having to park their cars or worry about it in that sense.
The service that's provided only on the weekends and holidays, it turns into everyday weekday service during the beach hours.
In addition to the extended service we'll be providing to the beach, there are many routes.
Some of the beaches near regular bus routes are Montrose Avenue, Oak Street, North Avenue, Foster Avenue, 31st Street, 12th Street, and of course, Navy Pier. And there are many more. Check out the CTA website for a complete list. You say you'd rather check out a Cubs game than feel the sand between your toes?
They can save on fuel, you don't have to worry about parking, and we run extra service to make sure that you get there on time for the beginning of the games. We have the Clark Street bus that'll take you directly to Wrigley Field, and we also have the 152 Addison regular service.
And on weekends and night games, we also provide a service that customers who want to add driving along with public transportation, they can park at the DeVry parking lot at Addison and Rockwell, and we give direct service from the Rockwell parking lot directly to Wrigley Field.
And if the Sox are your team,
we have the 35th Street bus that will take you right to the ballpark. We have the State Street bus, which will carry you right to the ballpark. The line will take you right to U.S. Cellular Field, and then the Green Line's a couple of blocks east of U.S. Cellular Field, but it's also a convenient way to get to the ballpark.
Summer is also a perfect time to get out and enjoy one of Chicago's many museums or other attractions. The kids are out of school, but it's a great way to keep them learning.
For the Museum of Science and Industry, we have the number 10 when school lets out in June. We provide extra service 7 days a week on the number 10 that will connect you to the museums downtown as well. It'll take you close to the Shed Aquarium, it'll take you close to the planetarium, and also the Field Museum.
Be sure to check out the CTA's website to get you where you're going. So what are you waiting for? Hop on the CTA and enjoy the sunshine. Still to come, a man who's at the top of his game when it comes to keeping CTA buses in tip-top shape. The word connection, a link or a spark that brings people together. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. There was a new category at the CTA Rodeo this year, bus servicer. And the winner, Bob Case, is a shining example of what the CTA is all about.
I've been part of the rodeo since 1987. I've always liked it, but this past year that I was in it because it was on my own. Obviously, I proved that I could do it, and it happened.
We wanted to come up with a competition that really shows what a bus servicer does. Winner should be able to, when he first walk up to that bus, he should be able to notice any type of defect that will cause a problem later on when the bus is on the street. He checked the oil levels, he checked the fluid levels. He should be able to notice if the headlights, broken mirrors, seat belts missing, loose stanchion bars, because bus services, his job is to be able to fix defects, the engine compartment, spot defects on the exterior and the interior of the bus.
The new servicer category was a tough one. Competitors had to take a written test and go through a series of obstacles.
At the finals, while they had problems, they call them problems, there was 10 left turns, right turns, right hand, left hand reverses, going through a simulated wash rack. I guess it's to show the skills of the years that I've been here and what I can actually do with a bus. I mean, it's not on the street, but being in the yard that I have to deal with every day. I mean, there are a lot of obstacles, and I have to do a lot of turns. Actually, probably more turns than on the street.
He does such a nice job. He's my eyes and ears because I'm in charge of inspection and follow-up, and he's my inspection servicer. He's my eyes and ears. He helps me assess whether the bus is safe to go out. He cleans the inside and the outside of the bus on inspection.
To even participate in the rodeo, servicer would have to have a good attendance because the rodeo is set up for our best employees. He should also have his discipline. He should have no discipline on his record. And again, we look for the best services, so we want the ones that come to work to do their job, and this competition is a way that we show our appreciation for the job that they do all year.
The rodeo is always a fun event for everyone involved. CTA has a huge number of very loyal and skilled employees, and the rodeo allows them to showcase their abilities.
Well, I felt very happy about it. Since last year that they had it, I decided, well, I'm going to do it since it's on my own. So anything I did was just me and not with 3 or 2 other members of the team. So it was kind of nice knowingly that I did it on my own.
Bob's one of the guys that everybody appreciates, and because when they don't know, there's certain employees that you can go and ask because he's been here for so many years, how is this done or where is this located, and he knows.
Although customers don't get to see them, it's employees like Bob that are the behind-the-scenes secret to keeping buses running smoothly. Congratulations, Bob. Up next, celebrating a half-decade of connections. getting from here to there quickly, easily, and without breaking the bank. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. Can you believe that Connections has been on the air for 5 years? We'd like to conclude today's program with a few highlights as we take a trip down memory lane. Chicago has seen all kinds of improvements to the CTA in the last 5 years. There have been new buses, rebuilt stations, new service. It's hard to keep track of it all. The 54th Cermak branch was completely rebuilt from top to bottom. Work began to expand capacity on the Brown Line. Several stations have been completed and are now accessible. And for the first time, 8-car trains are operating on the Brown Line. Straightening Harrison Curve. New viaducts on the Purple Line. More power and improved stations on the Dan Ryan Red Line. Chicago Card and Chicago Card Plus. Hybrid buses and new Pink Line rail service. It's been a busy and productive stretch in CTA history. And speaking of history, we've celebrated the 20th anniversary of both the Orange Line and the Blue Line O'Hare extension. The State Street Subway turned 60, and Connections was there to show it off. Going forward, the CTA will continue to build and grow, and Connections will continue to let you know how it benefits you. CTA has made huge strides in providing accessibility for all riders. In 2005, all buses became accessible with either a hydraulic lift or a ramp, and more than 80 rail stations are now accessible to customers as well. Connections has been there to document the improvements, and riders are thrilled with the progress. One thing the CTA is known for is providing a way to reach fun destinations in Chicago. Bike riders are welcome on the CTA, and buses and trains are a great way to get to the many museums and hot spots around the city. The CTA has taken fans to some of the biggest sports attractions in the city and has special trains for some of their smallest riders and kids at heart. Connections has been there to showcase CTA technologies and the latest in vehicles that CTA uses to improve public transportation for riders. Things like Bus Tracker, bus simulators, smaller Optima buses for narrow streets, and longer articulated Nabby buses. And everyone using the CTA can appreciate the convenience of express fare card machines. And going forward, CTA will continue to find the latest cutting-edge technologies to make riding the CTA faster and more efficient. The Chicago Transit Authority has been prominently featured in many movies, and the buses and trains are always ready for their close-up. One of the most significant changes made in recent years is the emphasis on the feel of the neighborhood in the station designs. Several stations have been adopted by local organizations and have been transformed by artwork. When people in the neighborhood care about the station, it shows. And of course, the most important part of the CTA is the people. If you've been watching Connections, you already know what a special group of people the CTA employees are. CTA celebrates the best of the best every year with the Rodeo competition, which showcases the heart and soul of the organization. And we just want to take this opportunity to tell you we appreciate your support and thanks for watching Connections. We're looking forward to the next 5 years. Traveling in and around Chicago on the CTA saves you time and money. I'm Jean Sparrow. Welcome to Connections. We're always looking for story ideas. Do you have a travel secret you'd like to share? How about a hidden Chicago gem that's served by the CTA? We want to hear about it, so give us a call at the Connections Hotline, 312-681-2812. Helping you make your connections, I'm Jean Sparrow. Thank you for watching.